Good evening, Belize, and welcome to XTV's news broadcast for Friday, November 28, 2025. Making the headlines tonight, BEL requests rate increase beginning January 1st. Fonseca weighs in on Mai's abrupt resignation amid cabinet remix. And decision on Guatemala's application to intervene in Belize-Honduras case expected early 2026. We take our first break and return with the news in detail.
It's an massive season with massive deals and rewards at Penny's. From now through December 31st, earn double B-Bucks on store-wide purchasing every Saturday. That's right, 2 times the B-Bucks, which means 2 times the cash back when shopping at Penny's. Plus, get even more rewards with B-Bucks Builders on home goods, tiles, appliances, paints, and lights. And don't forget, there's also massive deals and discounts on tiles and the best brands in paints like Benjamin Moore and BH. Rewards, deals, B-Bucks. You can get it all this massive season only at Penny's. Quality and savings.
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Social Security at your fingertips.
One of the reasons I applied for a credit card at Atlantic Bank was because I travel a lot. I'm always going here and there and everywhere, and having that card made my life so much easier. I could literally charge everything. I had no issues. I don't have to worry about carrying money, and that has been one of the most effective points. Using my Atlantic Bank credit card has improved my life drastically. I learned to budget properly, the online service that it gives, the features that it has, and also knowing that when I'm shopping online, it has a protective feature for it. Having an Atlantic Bank credit card, especially having 2 sons that are always wanting something. They want to shop here and they want to shop there. The good part about it is I get to look at Atlantic online to see where my spending is and to make sure I'm staying in budget.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Want all the postpaid perks without the commitment? Now you can with Smart Supercharged prepaid plans. All the talk, text, and data you need. No contracts, no hassle. Pay upfront for your package and enjoy total freedom. No commitments. Just simple, flexible plans that fit your life. Pick your power, Core, Edge, or Prime. Prepaid plans ready when you ready. Commit to no commitments and get yours today. Dial 7526 or star 100 pound key, use the Smart app, or visit a Gimme Dollar agent to purchase today. Smart, bringing people together.
Tired of replacing light bulbs? LEDs are what you need. LEDs last up to 30,000 hours. That's 30 times longer than incandescent bulbs, and up to 8 times longer than compact fluorescents. So less changing and less trash. Planet Earth thanks you. And the LED experts at Brothers Habet and Habet will help you find the best LED solution with colors for every room and mood, starting as low as $6.95. You can even get LED strips for home, office, and industrial use. So say goodbye to fluorescent tubes forever. And because they use up to 90% less energy, you save money. Money you can spend on other things. So head to Brothers Habet or Habet today. You can also call, email, or Facebook us. Have a brilliant day.
officially hand over essential IT equipment to Belize's 9 municipalities under PAC's Readiness 10 program with the Green Climate Fund. This handover represents a tangible step forward in strengthening institutional capacity to build climate-resilient communities across the country. Prior to this, the GIS software licenses had already been provided under this project. GIS technology is one of the most powerful instruments available globally. It enables us to visualize, analyze, and interpret data to better understand relationships, patterns, and trends.
The Belmopan City Council has already embarked or is embarked on its implementation of GIS within the city of Belmopan. So any additional resources that we can utilize towards this project is definitely useful.
We will make sure that we make every good use of this to gather, like I said, information to ensure that we better prepare ourselves. And we continue to seek other opportunities to ensure that we prepare for what's ahead.
Climate change is the single most significant impact, threat, vulnerability, risk that our environment faces, as do we. It is the beginning, and we hope that with these equipment and with the ongoing support of programs like R10, I even shortened the name even more, we can build our capacity and our ability to be resilient against climate change.
Today is a moment to pause and acknowledge the progress we have made together in strengthening our urban communities. Your teams are now better equipped to use spatial analysis tools to support the development of climate-smart cities and towns.
Un grupo de gente que hemos trabajado muy duro y la tierra es para la gente de Bellavista. ¿Para qué? Para que los jóvenes puedan tener tierra. ¿Para qué? Para que los jóvenes puedan desarrollarse en el futuro. Algo que les hacía falta por mucho tiempo. Nuestros padres vienen de las fincas bananeras. Somos gentes que hemos sufrido mucho y ustedes como jóvenes se merecen mejores oportunidades.
If you didn't have land before, you will have land now. Once you have land, you have wealth.
I think they want to build, they want to settle.
I'm already having dreams of my home and everything.
You know, the wires are just, I'm really excited. I'm really happy. I can finally begin to build a house.
It's just a great feeling, you know.
Mi amigo es un hermano, una persona para el pobre. ¿Estamos de acuerdo?
Welcome back with your news. I am Drea Espinosa. Belize Electricity Limited has submitted a request for a rate increase of 5.55 cents in the average price of electricity to take effect from January 1, 2026. BEL explains that the Public Utilities Commission PUC that the increase is meant to cover costs of $87.5 million for electricity demand between July 2023 and October 2025 that were not collected from customers. Additionally, the company is including another $20.9 million it says is not currently provided for in the rates for the period November 2025 to June 2026. Separately, BEL says the increase would also help to strengthen its ability to meet supply challenges expected for between January to June 2026. This includes the drier months. During these times, BEL has to deploy temporary generation to meet expected higher demand and also relies more on the costlier CFE source electricity from Mexico. The company is asking for the rate increase to be spread over a 2-year period. BEL states in its release, quote, even with this proposed increase, BEL will remain the lowest cost supplier of electricity to consumers throughout Belize and one of the lowest in the Caribbean and Central America, end quote. In an extended interview today, we asked Cabinet Minister Honorable Francis Fonseca about the abrupt departure of his cabinet colleague, Minister of Agriculture Hossamai, who resigned on Monday, November 17, a day before Prime Minister John Briceño announced his cabinet remix. In the cabinet reshuffle just 6 days prior on November 11, Mai had kept his agriculture portfolio, but enterprise, which includes the free zones, was removed. Our reports are that it was the Americans who brought down the pressure for Mai to resign. However, the Prime Minister subsequently stated that Mai took a leave of absence because he requires surgery after a fall from a horse over a year ago. The counter-narrative has led to a flurry of memes from a disbelieving public. Today, Fonseca told us that he was not in the meeting between the Prime Minister and the U.S. Embassy, so he does not know if they raised concerns about Mai.
I've not spoken to Minister Mai since his resignation from cabinet. All we have to go by is what has been presented to us, right? In the absence of any other information, any other statement, any other evidence, what has been presented to us in cabinet is that Mr. Mai resigned, Minister Mai, former Minister Mai, resigned because of health reasons, personal health reasons. In the absence of any other information, I can't speculate beyond that.
Did he come to cabinet over a year ago and say that he fell off his horse?
Yeah, I think it was well known in cabinet. I don't remember if he declared that, but I know in cabinet it was well known that he had an accident. He had fallen off a horse. So I know he was getting treatment for that. We knew that in cabinet.
Do you identify a difference between a resignation, which is what you've said cabinet was told about Minister Mai's leave or departure, as opposed to what the Prime Minister subsequently said it was to the public, a leave of absence?
Yeah, no, I don't know what the distinction is. I think, it may be really both, the same thing. Resigning, maybe it's a resignation. I haven't seen any letter, so maybe a resignation for a specific period of time. But, we'll have to accept what the Prime Minister says on that issue, because obviously the letter is to him, and he is the head of cabinet, and he is the one who determines who sits in cabinet.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Honorable Francis Fonseca says they expect the decision from the International Court of Justice on Guatemala's application to join the Belize versus Honduras case in early 2026. The oral hearings lasted 3 days and concluded this week. Fonseca today said Belize achieved its objective in making its substantive points strongly and effectively.
To pay very, very close attention to what is happening. And I think Belize achieved its objectives in our interventions, in our submissions, both by our agent and by our lawyers. What's critical and important for Belize is ensuring that there's a coordinated approach by the court. So that's one point we wanted, substantive point we wanted to make to the court, and I think we made that very strongly and effectively, that there should be a coordinated approach, that these two cases, they're separate cases, but obviously there should be a coordinated approach by the court to dealing with them. We hope that they will deal with the Belize-Guatemala case first, and then thereafter, very shortly, deal with the Belize-Honduras Sapodilla Keys issue. And then the second substantive point was that, listen, these things have been languishing for a number of years. We really would want the court to deliver a timely, conclusion, a timely resolution to these two cases so that we can move forward. So I think Belize was able to make those 2 points very strongly and effectively.
We also asked Minister Fonseca whether it is appropriate for the Prime Minister, as head of government, to be so accessible to foreign investors, as in the case of Miss Universe co-owner Raul Roca, who is now being investigated in Mexico for criminal activity.
The Prime Minister was in Mexico last year for that purpose, to meet with investors, to meet with trade groups. now it has come out in respect of this individual that the Mexican government has, alleged that he's involved in certain activities, criminal activities. But how would it be possible for the Prime Minister a year ago to be aware of that? When you travel to these countries, you rely on their authorities. We work with their government to determine how we schedule these meetings. It's not that we go out and find these people. They say to us, listen, we have a number of investors. These are the areas that we're interested in. We have a number of investors who would like to meet with your team, your delegation. And that's how these things are coordinated. It's not the Prime Minister saying, I want to meet with this individual. He didn't even know who this individual is before it was put on the agenda to say, this is somebody who is interested in investing in Belize. So I think we have to be, very careful about those things. There's no way you could have any crystal ball to determine what the future will hold for people who you're meeting with. I think there's nothing there in terms of the Prime Minister's meeting with Mr. Rocha.
Fonseca was also asked to weigh in on the reaction of the Office of the Prime Minister to Channel 7's news editor, Jules Vasquez, who first reported on the meeting the PM had with Rocha in October 2024, when the PM led a delegation to the swearing-in of President Claudia Sheinbaum.
I firmly believe in the freedom of the media. And we are public officials, right? We're public. And so we are we sign up for public scrutiny and criticism. We sign up for that. So, I never find that there's value in getting into a back and forth with the media, and certainly not getting personal with the media. I understand that, in this business, sometimes we believe we're being treated unfairly. Sometimes that's true. It's not just that we believe it. Sometimes we are being treated unfairly. But we have to take it. We have to take it because that's what we signed up for. I know the Prime Minister is a man who I know believes in the freedom of the media, the freedom of the press. And I know he values the role of the press in our democracy. I hope we can move forward without any further backing.
After the break, will Belize ever get a Schengen visa waiver? Stay with us.
When Shell V-Power flows through your engine, confidence flows through you. Choose the fuel that 100% cleans critical engine parts and keeps your engine performing like new.
All right, on the one fun day on, the window open and the light may turn off. It looks like you listen to me, Jamie.
Not only that, I even get a new coffee mug where keep my coffee hot all day.
I'm impressed. You don't look like you're so hard, eh?
Better than that, BL can change my meter to one of their new smart meter. They call it the AMI.
Oh, I hear about it on TV from BL. How do you know?
Yes, man. They don't reach the money by to change it right now. Let's go check it out.
Hey guys, I'm almost done here.
So that when you reach my area?
We're upgrading meters across Belize. House by house, business by business. Always look out for BL logo, uniforms, and IDs. BL will make you know when we're in the area. The EMI meter rollout is a part of BL strategy to modernize our energy services.
You don't need to come in at my house, right?
Come in at your house, boss, only if you got something good for you.
BEL, bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature, accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness, and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Social Security at your fingertips.
Sir, your item is ready for viewing.
Is that all? This is everything.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Palm City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today? I'm so stressed out. Okay, I'm saying I can help right now. When I do this daily, for 10 days, I am good after that, okay? Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
Un grupo de gente que hemos trabajado muy duro y la tierra es para la gente de Bellavista. ¿Para qué? Para que los jóvenes puedan tener tierra. ¿Para qué? Para que los jóvenes puedan desarrollarse en el futuro. Algo que les hacía falta por mucho tiempo. Nuestros padres vienen de las fincas bananeras. Somos gentes que hemos sufrido mucho. Y ustedes como jóvenes se merecen mejores oportunidades.
If you didn't have land before, you will have land now. Once you have land, you have wealth.
I think they want to build, they want to settle.
I'm already having dreams of my home and everything.
You know, the wires are just, I'm really excited. I'm really happy. I can finally begin to build a house.
This is just a great feeling, you know.
Mi amigo es un hermano, una persona para el pobre. ¿Estamos de acuerdo?
Belize City, get ready to unwrap a Christmas to remember. Your Belize City Council, in collaboration with Coca-Cola, invites you to the annual Belize City Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony 2025. Come and witness our trees as they light up and bring warmth to this festive season. Join us on Friday, November 28, 2025 at 6 p.m. as we officially kick off the holidays and celebrate the true reason for the season, the birth of Christ. Prepare for the biggest tree lighting ceremony yet, featuring the spectacular Francis Renaud concert series, the Christmas edition, live on Albert Street. But that's not all. Shop gifts and treats from our local vendors. Plus, get a chance to win exciting prizes and much more. Bring the kids to meet Santa and enjoy free cupcakes and Coca-Cola. And there's a designated seating area for the elderly. This tree lighting ceremony you won't want to miss. Save the date. Friday, November 28, 2025 at 6 p.m. on Albert Street. Your Belize City Council. Always about the people.
Some were disappointed to learn that instead of a Schengen visa waiver for the European Union, what Belize received after years of lobbying was a visa cascade which allows Belizeans to obtain 5-year multiple entry Schengen visas. Previously, they were only eligible for a short stay single entry Schengen visas with limited duration on limited multiple entry visas, often valid for less than 1 year. Today, the Minister of Foreign Affairs explained that a visa waiver requires a decision from the European Parliament, which is a more complex process to pursue.
Yeah, we hope that eventually, there can be a complete waiver of the requirement for the Schengen visa. But this is an important, significant step, something, as you all know, that the government of Belize has been working on, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been working on for many, many years. This is a sort of, middle ground. And I can say that, Belize is the only country that was approved, and a number of countries have applied for the same visa cascade provision. So I think, it had a lot to do with our lobbying efforts, and I think a recognition that Belize and Belizeans really represent a low security risk going into the EU. So we're very grateful for that. What it means is that Belizeans now wanting to go into the Schengen area can go to Mexico or Guatemala. You still have to go there to get your visa, but you will be able to get a multiple visa up to 5 years. In some cases, it might be less than 5 years. They may give you for 3 years, but up to 5 years, you may get a multiple entry visa up to 5 years. So for that period of time, you won't have to be going back and forth if you intend to be traveling into any of the Schengen area.
It will not apply to people who have the old passport, though.
Yeah, of course, you have to get the new updated biometric passport. Everybody should get that. It's more secure. It allows you to access visas generally. Even I think the US is moving in that direction where they won't, be giving visas if you don't have the updated passport. So I think it's in everybody's interest to apply for a new updated passport.
There was a report that under you, the waiver was not vigorously pursued as happened under Minister Courtney.
No, that's absolutely not the case. We pursued it vigorously. This is done through our embassy in Brussels, that they lead the effort. So, Minister Courtney did a lot of the groundwork. So there was really little for us to do to follow up, but we kept and remained vigilant. And we achieved this great success. This was as a result of our continuous lobbying and raising this issue whenever we had an opportunity with our European colleagues.
A vacation stop in Belize has turned into a distressing ordeal for a Chinese tourist who is now stranded in the country after being robbed of her travel documents, phone, and money. Wu Yuan Jun, known as Anne, was traveling with 2 companions from Cancun, Mexico, when she decided to spend a few days in Belize. Shortly after arriving, her sling bag was snatched as she was walking just a few yards from her hotel. She lost her 2 passports, one new and one old, her credit cards and IDs. As a consequence, she is unable to even purchase basic necessities. She told police that a tall, slim, dark-skinned man approached her and snatched her bag off her shoulder before fleeing into a nearby back street. Attempts to locate the suspect or recover the stolen items have so far been unsuccessful. She says members of the Chinese community in Belize stepped in almost immediately to assist. She has also visited the Belmopan police station and the immigration department, seeking assistance from the government of Belize. She is relying heavily on goodwill from strangers, including a Canadian traveler she met who covered her dorm stay for 8 days and bought her food. In related news, Belize is actively advertising to Canadians to take advantage of the fact that fewer Canadians want to travel to the U.S. following the recent tariff wars. However, could the murder of a Canadian national in Bullet Tree Falls, Cayo, have a negative impact? Tourism Director Evan Tillett said yes. He said the ministry is seeking to improve the safety and security of visitors to Belize.
Safety and security is paramount for our industry. And you asked the question how it affects us. Obviously, it affects us negatively. And I think if you remember the issue that we had in San Pedro when the doctor was killed, the numbers dropped, I think, immediately by maybe 20%. So any sort of negative matters or issues like that affects us gravely as an industry. And hence why we are very focused on security and safety within the industry. In August of this year, I think we launched the National Tourism Security Strategy, which aims to do just that, to ensure that not only the tourists, but all our industry stakeholders, as well as the citizenry of the nation, are protected, and we try to mitigate all those things. So that is important. Ronaldo said it correctly, that one of the key decision makers in coming to our destination is safety and security. And so we must put a lot of focus on that, and we must ensure that our people are safe and that our visitors are safe.
In an ironic twist, the very outside factors that may have caused a dip in tourism in September may help fuel a spike in late 2025 going into 2026. The back pay that U.S. government workers will receive following the end of the U.S. government shutdown may mean that more Americans will get bit by the travel bug in time to take advantage of holiday sales. Plus, with the unfortunate tragedy experienced by Jamaica with Hurricane Melissa, more travels may turn to Belize instead. President of the Belize Hotel Association, Reynaldo Malik, said it may be a scenario similar to when countries open back following the pandemic lockdown.
What we're expecting to see is something that's akin to what happened after COVID, where folks were getting checks, and even those that were on regular salaries, it was just being saved because you were at home working, you didn't have to commute, etc. So the amount that you had for leisure, travel, or other similar types spending had grown. And so we're expecting to see something along those lines. As I talked with the media through most of October and coming into November, I kept saying, we're not too worried yet, but if we get to the Thanksgiving window and there's still a government shutdown, then that's where we start to really sit up and say, okay, we're going to see a significant bump. With that shutdown ended and with all the back pay coming, it is, I believe, logical to think that folks are going to treat that as a lump sum that they have available to do just in time. For instance, when the lockdown ended, many of the larger properties in Belize had just launched their Black Friday sales. And in the tourism industry, in overnight hospitality, the Black Friday sale is a little bit of a misnomer because it launches like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving and runs until the first or second week in December anyway, right? So it's Black Friday, it's Halloween, it's Cyber Monday, it's everything in one.
In political news, on Sunday at 9 a.m. at Birds Isle in Belize City, 521 delegates of the United Democratic Party can start lining up to register to vote in their leadership convention. 5 positions are available, but there will be 3 endorsements of Honorable Tracy Panton as leader, Hugo Pat as first deputy leader, and Mike Guerra as second deputy leader. It is therefore expected that the position of chairperson will be the most hotly contested one. We had initially reported that it was only Senator Sheena Pitts going up against Roosevelt Blades, given that the nominations committee had rejected the application of John Saldivar. However, his name appears on the ballot, and we're told that the decision of the nominations committee was overturned by the outgoing Central Executive led by Moses Shine Barrow. It is expected that the event will bring to an end over a year of infighting that has spilled onto the public domain. Acting Chairman Alberto August says they expect a smooth transition of leadership from Barrow to opposition leader Honorable Tracy Panton.
We are expecting a smooth transition from one leadership to the next, which is what we have been saying all along. You know, it's just that some circumstances preceded what we had planned, but post the last general elections, it should have been smooth sailing into the new leadership. Unfortunately, it did not work out like that. Well, in terms of the conduct of the process, this is not the first rodeo that I'll be riding. I've ridden a lot of them. In fact, we just came out of a series of special constituency conventions, at least 7 or 9 of them. And you will notice that after those conventions, you know, here nobody talk about how they were stolen at the polls, because we know how to conduct them and in a transparent and open manner. So when you're unsuccessful, you accept that you're unsuccessful, because we don't deal with hanky-panky in terms of the conduct of these conventions. So this will be no exception. This is going to be a convention that will be conducted in a fair and transparent manner, so that at the end of the day, and even during the process, there should be no contention within those persons competing. Like you rightfully said, it is a competition for the votes, but at the end of the day, because of the conduct of the process, it lends for the credibility in respect of those who contest these conventions. In terms of the turnout, yes, I agree that the party would want to show muscle out there on Sunday. But it all boils down to the amount of finances that you push into it. And unfortunately, we are not at that position right now. We're part money the flow, as in previous times. You know? When you're in a position, money kind of tight. But notwithstanding, we are expecting maximum voter participation.
Barrow is expected to deliver a farewell address prior to the swearing in of the new central executive of the party.
Viable opposition is just desperately needed for this country, and that is what we intend to put forward. The Honorable Tracy Panton has earned the position, so let's give her a shot at it and hope for the best. Items on the agenda is going to be right after the guest speaker delivers her address to the delegation. The outgoing leader, the Honorable Shine Barrow, will be called to the podium to deliver her speech. We are hoping that at that time we could show the supporters and the delegates of this party in attendance that we are serious about moving this party forward in unity. I don't anticipate any kind of hard feeling or difficulties in terms of the transition of the party. The Honorable Shine Barrow will deliver his presentation, and I suspect that, and because right after he delivers his presentation, the voting begins, so I suspect that he will vote, and we move on from there. At the end of the day, I don't anticipate him staying out there all day, or probably or maybe coming back for the swearing in of the new party leader and the new executive of the party. But it ends with that. The program ends with the endorsement or with the swearing in of the 5 new members of the party. Well, I'll step forward because the Honorable Hugo Pat is returning to the first deputy leadership of the party, position of the party. but to the swearing of all 5 new members of the leadership executive of the party. And then, of course, the new party leader will be invited to address the gathering. We're hoping that it could be done as early as possible so that the delegations are still in place so that she could address them. And then after that, the event ends with a vote of thanks by the newly elected chairperson.
After the break, could Belize really have multiple international airports? Stay tuned.
Want all the postpaid perks without the commitment? Now you can with smart supercharged prepaid plans. All the talk, text, and data you need. No contracts, no hassle. Pay upfront for your package and enjoy total freedom. No commitments. Just simple, flexible plans that fit your life. Pick your power, Core, Edge, or Prime. Prepaid plans ready when you ready. Commit to no commitments and get yours today. Dial 7526 or star 100 pound key, use the Smart app, or visit a Gimme Dollar agent to purchase today. Smart, bringing people together.
One of the reasons I applied for a credit card at Atlantic Bank was because I travel a lot. I'm always going here and there and everywhere, and having that card made my life so much easier. I could literally charge everything. I had no issues. I don't have to worry about carrying money, and that has been one of the most effective points. Using my Atlantic Bank credit card has improved my life drastically. I learned to budget properly, the online service that it gives, the features that it has, and also knowing that when I'm shopping online, it has a protective feature for it. Having an Atlantic Bank credit card, especially having 2 sons that are always wanting something. They want to shop here and they want to shop there. The good part about it is I get to look at Atlantic online to see where my spending is and to make sure I'm staying in budget.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
This year's celebration takes place under the theme Invest, Innovate, Sustain, Leading the Change in Renewable Energy Frontiers. This theme is both timely and visionary. It reminds us that the key to Belize's energy future lies in our ability to invest in transformative technologies, innovate through collaboration, and sustain our progress to shared responsibility.
When we create spaces, internships, research labs, and innovation challenges where young Belizeans can turn their ideas into renewable solutions made for Belize, where opportunity is rewarded with support for exploration, we all win.
Across the region, CARICOM member states are collaborating to invest, innovate, and sustain to build systems that are resilient to climate change impacts, responsive to community needs, and responsible to our planet. Our ministry proudly works hand in hand with CARICOM and our regional partners to ensure that Belize continues to lead by example. Because when the Caribbean stands together on clean energy, we send a message to the world. Small nations can lead in big ways.
Let us invest boldly in our renewable energy. Let us invest together from the classroom to the boardroom. And let us sustain this progress with unity and purpose so that what we build today, tomorrow, becomes the foundation of a stronger, cleaner future.
It's an massive season with massive deals and rewards at Penny's. From now through December 31st, earn double B-Bucks on store-wide purchasing every Saturday. That's right, 2 times the V-Bucks, which means 2 times the cash back when shopping at Benny's. Plus, get even more rewards with V-Bucks Builders on home goods, tiles, appliances, paints, and lights. And don't forget, there's also massive deals and discounts on tiles and the best brands in paints like Benjamin Moore and BH. Rewards, deals, V-Bucks. You can get it all this massive season only at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature, accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness, and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Social Security at your fingertips.
Yes, I want to do farming. Fruits, vegetables, anything. You don't have to go out there and buy, you have your own thing.
This never happened when I come in too, baby. That's why you look.
200 lots, more lots than people with land of Ocasio. So when I pick them when I ban yet to get land.
You could look at all of them, how happy they are. They're so, man, these people don't know how to express themselves right now.
People who have never had a land before, will live here for years, finally get something to say, okay, I have something in my name,
So when you get your piece of land, you have to hold on to your land. You have something to pass on to your picnic.
Use your land, make it useful.
Don't sell your land because it is gold. You're investing in your own selves and your children down the road.
I know how to say thank again because it's a great achievement.
The long-awaited Placentia International Airport near Riversdale and the proposed international airport on North and Burgess have been met with skepticism over the years as simply pipe dreams. However, on Wednesday, the CEO in the Ministry of Tourism, Nicole Solano, told the media that the projects are actually being looked at as real possibilities.
Those conversations are underway, and the analysis of whether or not that is feasible is a discussion that has to happen as well with the airlines. So the Aviation Development Committee is looking at that, and from the external as well as internal analysis perspective, I'm also waiting to see where we stand with that, but those discussions are underway still. No?
The Belize Tourism Board's marketing budget is roughly half of the entire BTB budget and is just under $20 million. Still, this pales in comparison to what other countries in the region pay to market their tourism product. BTB Director of Tourism Evan Tillett told the media recently that the BTB needs to be strategic with how they use their limited marketing budget.
The bulk of the revenue that focuses on our marketing efforts definitely come from through the hotel tax. Typically, the marketing budget represents just probably just a little bit under 50% of the entire budget, because we have a role to also invest in the product. Because yes, you market, but you also have to ensure that when the visitor gets here, that what we're marketing they can experience. And so that is also a role of the BTB. But marketing is definitely one of the key thing that we do at the BTB, to market the destination on a whole, to talk about all of the assets that we have, and to push the destination in order to continue to get overnight visitor. From the perspective of our marketing objective and our marketing strategy. We have different marketing agencies that represents us globally. We have representation in Europe, we have representation in LATAM, which is Mexico, Central America, and South America, and we do have in Canada and the US as well. So what we have been doing is that we have been a whole lot more strategic in our marketing, in our marketing investment, and we have been focusing a lot on the use of technology, the use of data that drives what we do in our marketing of the destination.
There is a new state-of-the-art manna flour mill in Belize as part of Caribbean Organic Foodstuff Company Limited. It's located in Carmelita Village, Orange Walk, at a compound of Caribbean International Brewery Company Limited. The official opening was held earlier this week. The Prime Minister gave the keynote address.
The other day you sent me some samples to try it out, and I had they're at my house for them to do some flour tortillas and Johnny cake, and they were really nice. They're telling me that the flour is very, very good. And I'm sure that if the people like it at my house, trust me, they're going to like it all over the country. And it speaks to the product that you're producing for our citizens, that you're not cutting corners. When you have a chance, for those that have not seen it, to go into the actual mill and see a state-of-the-art factory, a factory that's highly computerized, where you are going to ensure that the quality is produced is of the best quality possible, so that the people, that our citizens, can then be able to appreciate a good product that's being made in Belize. And I'm also very excited when I think about it, is that what Kevin has done here, it's a product that can be done not only for the Belizean market, that the factory is so big that it could eventually start to export flour into the Caribbean market.
It took 10 months for the facility to be constructed. It can produce 150 tons per day using semi-automated machines. The University of Belize, UB, and the Belize Fund for a Sustainable Future have signed a memorandum of understanding establishing a 5-year partnership aimed at strengthening Belize's capacity in ocean conservation, climate adaptation, and blue economy development. The agreement formalizes collaboration between the two institutions to link scientific research with practical community-level action. Through the partnership, UB and the Belize Fund will work together on marine research, data analysis, training programs, community empowerment initiatives, and public education on sustainable ocean management. UB President Dr. Vincent Palacio described the partnership as a milestone for the university and the country, noting that it opens new opportunities for students and faculty to engage in meaningful applied research that aligns with Belize's national priorities. As part of the agreement, both organizations will assign key officers to guide implementation and ensure the effective monitoring and evaluation of planned activities. And in court news, after spending 2 months on remand, 26-year-old Erin Belizaire walked out of the Belize City Magistrate Court a free woman Thursday. Belizaire, who arrived in handcuffs, saw all charges against her withdrawn by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. She had been charged in connection with a stabbing incident in April this year at a park in Belize City. She initially faced charges of dangerous harm and use of deadly means of harm, for which she had been granted bail. However, in September, those charges were upgraded to attempted murder, placing the matter outside the bail jurisdiction of the Magistrates Court. She was subsequently remanded to the Belize Central Prison. Her attorney, O.J. Elrington, said the legal team had been preparing to reapply for bail at the High Court when they were notified that the virtual complainant no longer wished to proceed with the case. Despite this statement, Belizaire was still denied bail by a High Court judge, leaving her in custody while her legal team awaited a decision from the DPP. And with that, we've come to the end of our newscast. The repeat can be viewed on this station later tonight at 9 and again Monday at midday. Join us again Monday for another edition of the news. And remember, you can always catch up with the day's top stories on our YouTube channel and Facebook page under XTV Belize. And you can watch the evening news live on our XTV BHNI app. I am Drea Espinosa. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend.
Thank you.